Good. Good morning, everyone. We have learned up to now. We're learning Torah Or. Torah Or, a book by the first Rebbe of Chabad, and we're discussing what exactly happened in Kriyas Yam Suf, in the splitting of the sea. Why did God split the sea for the Jews? Why did He have to split the sea? It was totally unnecessary. If you look geographically, they did not have to cross over any sea in order to go from Egypt to Israel. Look at any map. And not only that, they didn't really even cross over the sea. They went in on one side and they came out on the same side, just a few miles down. That's what it says in the Midrash. And not only that, it says, well, the reason is to show the Egyptians the power of God. But all the Egyptians were killed. They all drowned over there. So who was it? So the Rebbe said, there is everything there is in the physical, there is in the spiritual. And the sea is talking about all the hidden worlds. Hidden worlds. Now, Judaism is trying to teach the whole world that there's a creator that personally creates everyone and personally cares about everyone. And that the world is really essentially very, very good. And every human being is very, very good. God saw when He made the world in the beginning of the creation, He saw it was Tov Ma'od. And every person is made in the image of God. But we don't see that. That's good is hidden. That's like the creations in the sea. The creations in the ocean, they're there, but you don't see them. There could be diamonds and who knows what, but you just don't see them there. So the idea of splitting the sea is revealing all of the good that's concealed, and there's infinite amounts of good that's concealed. What we see in this world is the tip of this inverted mountain. And we just see a little tiny glimpse of what reality really is. But in fact, reality is much more real and good and blessed and happy than we can possibly imagine. And idolatry keeps this hidden from us. Keeps this hidden from us. It wants to say the spiritual worlds, they're just hidden, and that's it, they're permanently hidden and right, and this world is bad. But the fact of the matter is that this world is not bad at all. It's bad if you consider it to be separate from the upper worlds. But it's like is having 10 cents. Is that bad having 10 cents, or is it bad good having 10 cents? What do you mean having 10 cents? If you want to buy something for $1, then the 10 cents is bad. It says, yeah, but if the 10 cents is just a tip of what you've really got in the bank, you've got $10 trillion in the bank, and 10 cents is just what is just what you took out, right? You took out, that's what you took, but it's all waiting for you there. So the 10 cents, of course, is good, but if you think that's all you've got, so then you're a poor person. That's all you've got. So it's the same thing with reality and with your soul. If you think that what you see is that's all that there is, then you're a poor person. And Judaism is coming to try to tell us how rich we are, that really all of this good is concealed and hidden, but we just have to reveal it. It's not that it's not available in this world. It's available even in this world as well. Okay. So says the Rebbe, why is it so concealed? Because the God creates the world from speech, from letters. Letters. And in another place, these letters are called horses. Horses. Why are they called horses? Because letters are incomparable to the person who's speaking, just like a horse and a rider. But letters can be put together to mean something. Not only that, letters can be tamed and trained so that they take you to a place where you couldn't go without them. In other words, without speech, you're stuck. But when you can speak, you can go much further. That's, says the Rebbe, that's the whole world. All the world, the spiritual worlds, the physical worlds, they're created by these letters, horses, like the horses, the horses. But when God split the sea, which we said are all the concealed worlds, so He threw all these horses into the sea. And what does this mean? Here we go. That's what we got up to. Oh, okay. So we want what is the Rebbe saying? That so it ends up that the sea is not just this physical world. It's also the spiritual worlds. And the whole business is created by God. So it comes out that all these spiritual worlds, like all the religions are striving for, and forget about this world, go to spiritual worlds. That's only from God's letters. That's also, and not 10 cents. Let's say you have 10 cents, you have a dollar. But compared to the essence of the Creator himself, all of these upper worlds, they're just words, they're just letters, they're just all, the upper worlds, even the heavens, are also concealed in God. And where is God revealed? If so, if it's not revealed, it's revealed in this world when Jews do what God wants them to do. Then in this physical world is revealed the essence of God. And that's what happened at Kriyas Yam Suf. When God split the sea, so everything that was concealed, it all split, all the concealment split apart. So all the heavens, even the heavens, these upper levels of heaven, they also split. So we see the Creator. Okay, so that's what it says. Yesh. This is a little bit sort of, how to say, midrashic or kabbalistic. What we're going to learn now. What we're going to learn. Let's go. I said, well, why is this thing not working for me? This is supposed to. All right. Okay, I get it. I want my pointer. There we go. So that's what it says. With just one thought, God created all the worlds. So all the worlds are just God's letters that He creates the world. Okay, but when God split the sea, so He revealed the source of the letters that are creating the heavens and the earth. The heavens is even the spiritual heavens revealed. That's what the Jewish people are chosen for. We're God's chosen people to show the whole world what God is. Don't think that you have to worship a person, you have to pray to some guy, and don't think that you're bad. Don't think that everybody's doomed and you're all bad if you don't believe in this guy. It's not so. Everyone is essentially good, but you just have to reveal it. And the job of the Jewish people is supposed to be to encourage people and to teach people how to do it. Of course, they have to do it themselves. Do what? To reveal the Creator and show that this whole entire creation, even all the spiritual worlds, are just part of this miraculous, wondrous, amazing creation. But the Creator himself is infinitely more so. That's the idea of the Torah, God taking the Jews out of Egypt to reveal himself, to reveal the Creator himself. Okay, that's what, there's a sentence that says, Yesh kona olamo b'sha'achas. There's several stories like this in the Talmud about people who were sinners, big time sinners. Sometimes it even enumerates what their sins are, and all they have to do, they suddenly realize their mistake, and they beg God for forgiveness. Their heart breaks, and it says that's it. God forgives them. One of the most outstanding ones was Manasseh, right? Manasseh was a king of Israel that did like all the sins in the world. You could sit up all, for a year and you couldn't even imagine all the sins that he did. He did all the worst things possible. And in the end, he said, God, forgive me, please forgive me. And God forgave him. God forgive him. I mean, I wouldn't forgive him, but by the things that he did, it's unspeakable things, but nevertheless, God forgave him. So it says, Yesh kona olamo b'sha'achas. Some can get their world, in other words, the place in the world to come, b'sha'achas, in one moment. The word sha also means to turn. To turn. By Yisha Hashem el Hevel. God turned to Hevel. Able. So v'yesh kona olamo, some people can get their world in one moment. Now we're going to see what this means. This is going to take this thing apart, and everything we're going to interpret a little bit deeper than the simple meaning. Simple meaning, some people can acquire their world, in other words, their place in the world to come, in heaven, b'sha'achat, in just one moment. Right? Some people sit and they learn and they do good deeds and they do commandments and they do this. And this fellow did sins all his life. In just 1 second, he said, wow, what have I done? And that's it. He gets the whole jackpot. He gets it 1 second. Okay, that's a simple meaning. Now a little bit difficult, a deeper, truer meaning. Ki, because perish, what does it mean? Shekal bechinas, all the levels, tainugi, of the pleasures on nivroim, of creations, mashi yochol liot nimshach, that which is able to be drawn down, lenivra, to a creation, Baal Gavul, limited, Liot Makabel Tainuk, to receive pleasure, Mizeh, from this, all the steaks you can eat, all the all the pleasures a person could possibly get in this physical world, right? They attach electrodes to his brain or something like that, and every second he experiences that he is being chosen president of the United States, and he is knocks out. He's the champion of the world in boxing, and he's the greatest tennis player, and he's the greatest pianist, and the greatest musical pleasures and emotional pleasures. And that's nothing compared to going to heaven. Going to heaven, it says one moment in heaven is one moment in heaven is like 70 years of pleasure in this world, all wrapped up together, all the drugs and all of this, everything, all the pleasures you can possibly imagine in heaven. It says all of that is called yesh. It's called a thing. That's what it means, yesh, kona. There are those that, we're taking this sentence apart. All of that is called yesh. It's just called like a thing. All the pleasures you could possibly imagine. Says that God gives those who he loves yesh. What is yesh? Yesh means the pleasures of the world to come. Like I say, this thing of the world to come is like the carrot that's dangling. All the religions dangle in front of all of their worshipers. Right? Believe like me, you're going to go to heaven. Oh, want to go to heaven? Want to go to hell? No. Want to go to heaven? Yeah. Okay, do this. Bow down. Right? Eat this thing. Do this thing. You're going to go to heaven. Heaven, yes, going to go to heaven. Right? Believe like me. Go like me. Say like me. Say yes to me. Do what I tell you. You're going to go to heaven. Yeah, I want to go to heaven. Right, go to heaven. Why? Because heaven is very good. Heaven, I mean, whether these things actually do bring you to heaven is a big question, because each one of them is okay, whatever it is. So let's say it's true, and all these religions really do get you into heaven. Let's say that it's true. The fact of the matter is going to heaven is no big deal. It's no big prize. It's just called yesh. It's just called a thing. Going to heaven is like a thing. This kona olamo, this, it says yesh, this yesh. Now there's the just the, they say the insignificance of all of the spiritual worlds compared to the Creator. This yesh was this level of yesh is all the spiritual worlds, which are just like a thing. Kona olamo. This possesses its world. It, when it is connected to sha'achat. What is sha'achat? Machshava achat, one thought, sheba, which is in it. Bora olam. Yesh, this yesh is kona, is possessed. Olamo, all of its existence, b'sha'achat, in one thought of God. Shah means, like I said, it means to turn. Get a little thought in your mind, and you turn to God. So it says all of the upper worlds, with all the pleasures, that's just one little thought of God. One little thought of God. What about God himself? God is inaccessible, right? Wrong. That's exactly what it's coming to tell you. That's what it means. That's what it means, that God, this is in Psalms. God does not desire the power of horses. What do you mean the power of horses? God does not, what pleases God is not power and pleasure, even the power and pleasure of the upper worlds, of going to heaven. The true light of God does not shine, the desire of God is not shining. And the gevurot means the power, also means contractions. The contractions of God alone. Anyone who says that all I have is Torah doesn't have Torah. In other words, if a person lives his life for spiritual, so that's very nice. It's a very nice thing. You're living your life for spiritual, but you're selling yourself short. You're underestimating what a human being is. A human being is not just receiving pleasure, not this world or the world to come. That is peanuts. Yesh in this case means peanuts. Yesh means like a little thing, a stone or something, a little pebble. How does God create the world? He contracts himself, like we said before. He contracts his light, like we said before, the letters. The whole entire creation is just the letters of God. And God's desire is not in just these letters alone. That's it says a person who says all I have is Torah, and there's a person that learns the Torah all the time in order to go to heaven. So that's a very wonderful thing, praiseworthy thing. But don't stop there. Don't stop there. What does God want? If so, what does He want? Right? It doesn't want. This world is not important. The upper worlds are not important. God alone is important. What does that mean? What is that? What are we supposed to do? What's the point? What's the point? So first of all, if you want God alone, it's not a selfish endeavor. You're not thinking about yourself. If you're thinking about yourself, then okay, you'll do good deeds, you go to heaven. Says the Rebbe, there's something much greater in store for us. And not only that, you're missing the truth. And also, there's another sentence. God does not want the Gevuras. He doesn't like all the things that He contracted, the world that He made. Cain also lo beshuke ish machazikim bo b'chinesusim. Also, this level of the loins of man, that is this like we said, the horses. Hainu hadat v'hamachshava hatzorich ledibur, namely the thought and the the intention that's behind your speech and your deeds alone. God does not shine His will so much. Okay, so what are we supposed to do? We have the Torah, we have the commandments. Doing the Torah and the commandments, that's not good. Of course it's good, but it's not so good. There's something much better. But what does God want? Where is this desire? The pinimiuso and it yeri of. Those people who truly fear God. They're not thinking about themselves at all. They're thinking, what does God want me to do? What does God want me to say? What does God want me to think? Oh, then if you do the Torah and the commandments, you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it because the Torah and the commandments are a miracle, and I myself am a miracle. I'm just being created by God. That's what God really wants. This is like Moses. Like Moses said, Nachnu ma. That's why none of the people could come close to Mount Sinai. Only Moses could, because Moses was the only person not thinking about himself at all. Everyone else was concerned about what's going to be with me and what's going to be myself and their own feelings, which is natural. That's everybody. And Moshe was thinking only about the Creator. And if the Creator said you have to stand on one foot, you stand on one foot. If He says you have to keep Shabbos, you keep Shabbos. But his own thing was devotion to the Creator. This is what's called the excitement of the soul from God's essence. So again, what happened on Mount Sinai? On Mount Sinai, what happened at Kriyas Yam Suf when the sea split? All of the spiritual world split. In other words, anything that you might think is the goal of life, any sort of spiritual accomplishments or achievements or things that you receive, presents that you receive, right? All those things are wonderful. But when the sea split, suddenly all the Jews realized there's the Creator Himself. And that it's possible for us to realize not just the rewards of that the Creator gives, but the Creator Himself, to make the Creator happy, to make God happy. Okay, so making God happy does not mean that you have to, do extraordinary things and you get your picture in the paper. Making God happy can be the most simple day-to-day things. Even saying hello to someone, every single second presents its opportunities to make the Creator happy. By means of what? By thinking, what does God want? That's why God gave the Torah. So we'll know, what does God want? Now you can say, what do I? This is it's a competition. God's against me, right? There's things I want, there's things that God wants. Says, no, but yeah, you got a good point, but God is creating you. God is creating me. God is more real than me. God is not just the Wizard of Oz sitting behind a veil or something. God is actually creating the whole entire business. I mean, he's not anything like anything we can imagine. God is not like an angel or something. But on the other hand, that same God wants us to, we are tremendously, tremendously, infinitely important in God's eyes. Everything we do, say, beginning with the Jewish people, we're his chosen people, but we have to teach everyone this lesson. Personally, God cares about everybody personally in this world. But say, well, that's what it means. I'll call him Yachalim L'chazdo. It says God does not, it's the same psalm in Psalms. What is it? I think it's Psalm 62 or something. Anyway, God does not desire the power of people. God does not desire the power of the horses, all these worlds and everything. What does God desire? Call am yachalim lechazdo, those people who long for God's kindness. They don't have love. We shouldn't have love on its own for any reason. Because we want to become closer to God. You have to understand something, what the Rebbe is saying. The Rebbe is setting a very, very tremendously high and ultimate standard for what man is. The Rebbe is not saying that any lower levels are bad. The Rebbe is trying to tell us what ultimate pure good is. Ultimate pure. That's how the Tanya starts off. The book the Tanya starts off. It says that everyone is sworn to be a tzaddik. A tzaddik is a person that he feels the truth all the time. He feels what a miracle I am. Every person feels himself. I am a big miracle. God is creating me every single instant. God is creating the world every single instant. And the biggest miracle, he's giving me responsibility and he cares about me. I'm tremendously important. What I say, what I do, what I think is tremendously important to God. God himself. The fact of the matter is there's tremendous levels of heaven and of these upper worlds and pleasures and infinite pleasures that people can get to. And that's a very big motivation. You know, it's a big carrot hanging in front of our head. And like I said before, that's what all the religions are based on. The pleasures that are available in heaven. So the Rebbe is trying to tell us, though, that what's the ultimate goal, though? All these pleasures of heaven, going to heaven, and certainly the pleasures on the earth, anything that we receive is just a diversion from the truth. It's just accepting second best. Just accepting second best. It's almost like bribery, accepting a bribe. Right? A person is chosen to be a judge. He can be a big judge. Someone comes up to him from the mafia or something and says, listen, I'll give you $10 million if you set, Tony free, right? Well, he's up on 10 counts of murder. And so there's this, so listen, we do, and unfortunate things do happen to people that don't do what we want. Not that we do those things, but on the other hand, unfortunately, on the other hand, get my point, Judge? On the other hand, if you do what we want, tomorrow, $20 million in your Swiss bank account. I don't have a bank account. You will. What do you say, Judge? The judge says, okay, so what happened? This judge could have acquired something precious. Honesty. On the other hand, can't put honesty in the bank. Honesty is not going to save your life. So he sells out. The Rebbe is saying it's almost the same thing. God is saying you can attach yourself to me personally, every single instant. Jew, non-Jew, just by being truthful. There's all these temptations. You get $20 million in the bank. You do according to this X religion or whatever, and you get heaven, go to heaven. And if you don't do it, you go to hell. So that sometimes makes a person crooked a little bit. But on the other hand, you can't blame people nowadays, especially all these people that are in these different religions, billions of people, they don't know any better. No one told them any better. And if somebody did tell them any better, they won't believe them because they've been brought up or they're convinced, whatever, that this is the way to get into heaven and I'm going to do it. I'm not going to leave. I don't want to burn in hell. So as a result, everyone is innocent, but good, but innocent is no a substitute for the truth. It's like parents who give their children only white sugar to eat all the time. The kids love it. Wow, daddy is so good, but it's destroying their eyesight and their teeth and everything because it's not healthy, but the kids love it. So nobody's guilty. The parents really, they really do it for the benefit of the children. The children like it. What's wrong with it? But it's not healthy. Here, the Rebbe is trying to tell us what true health is, and that it's possible for us to attain it. And the Jewish people were chosen to teach it. And that's why God took the Jews out of Egypt and split the sea to reveal the truth, and that the Jews should experience the truth. And afterwards, he gave them the Torah. They experienced the truth even in a deeper way. Splitting of the sea was just a preparation for the revelation at Mount Sinai. That's what Jews are supposed to do. I mean, are they doing it? Am I doing it? At least we know what has to be done. At least there it is. So that's what it says, that what should we be doing instead of thinking about our own personal, even spiritual benefit, even if we have a tremendous thirst for God, we want to come closer. But while we're thinking about what is Miachalim Lechazdo, God, what does God desire? Not in the power of horses, not etc. God in all these spiritual worlds, but those people who long for God's kindness. Eliot Hamshachat, to draw down God's kindness from the upper worlds to the lower worlds, and we are yachalim means to long for, to desire, kasher yered v'yimshach milamayla, to draw down from above, v'losha davar nogea la'atzmam, and not for my sake, but you want that the God should be revealed in the world because that's what God wants. But that's what it means. Sus v'roch barom aviyom. That's what it means, that the horses and the riders, God of the Egyptians, God threw into the sea, namely the letters of God's creative force. Whatever, 1 minute. The osios, the letters of Dibur and Machshava, of God's thought and God's speech, or even our thought and our speech. Mokar da Alma, the Isgalian, the source of the revealed worlds, which these are all these contractions, etc. All these things God threw into the sea. Ad Bechinas Yam, this ocean. What ocean? Alma Discasia, the concealed worlds. Why? Because Goy Go'ah. How is it that God could reveal the spiritual and the physical? Because God is above both of them. Sha'atu Hashem levadecha. God is alone. God is above the spiritual. Kula kamei, everything before God. Kalo chashiv is like nothing. We said this before. So what does it mean like nothing? It's, what do we have an idea? What is nothing? By us, nothing means there was something. He took it away. It's nothing. A vacuum, no space, no time, no. But God, he really knows what nothing is. God exists before the world was created. So, like we said so many times before, God doesn't really exist in any way we can understand. God creates all existence. God creates all the spiritual, the physical. So God knows what nothing really is. Everything in front of God is like what we think is nothing, but really the world is infinitely more nothing than we can possibly. God is creating it from nothing every second. God is creating time also. So everything in front of God is like nothing. In front of God, darkness is like light. The Alma Discasia, the worlds of concealment and the worlds that are revealed, everything is equal. So therefore, God was able to hafach, transform the sea, which is the concealed worlds, liabasha, to be revealed worlds. So God could reveal all the secrets of the Torah and the secrets of creation could be revealed here. That's what it means. Benar yavo baregel. This is talking about the future redemption. It says we will go over the river, and there we will rejoice in God. says in the future redemptions will go over the now the Nahar, the river this is referring to the river that came out of Eden. Eden is referred to as God's Chachma, God's essence, if you want to call it. And the river is understanding. So it says that the river will split. We won't need understanding anymore. We'll see God, we'll feel godliness. That's going to be true joy. We'll see and we'll feel just like we feel ourselves. A person feels that he exists. You're certain that you exist. I'm certain I exist. You have to have proof. I'm sure that I exist. That's how sure we're going to be that God exists, but infinitely more so because our existence is a created existence and God is the creator. It says that's going to be real happiness. The Jews felt that when they went to the Holy Temple. They went to the Holy Temple and they felt that they were being created, that they were creations. They took that with them home because the whole world is being created by God all the time. It says that feeling is going to be everywhere, all the time. At the splitting of the sea, it began. All the physical and spiritual worlds, they all split to reveal the Creator present. But in the future, it's going to be in a permanent way. Perish atzmuto, God's essence, or muhuto, and his very quintessence, kiviyachol, so to speak, will be revealed. But because this level is gam zu gam Eov Omar. Also, I'm sorry. This in this level also Oyev, the enemy said, Erdov, I will pursue the Jews. Erdov Asig. In part of the song, you'll read the song. The song that the Jews sang after they went over Yam Suf, it's written in this week's Torah portion. So it says, the enemy said, I will pursue them, I will catch them, I will kill them, I will divide up the spoil. And God, you just covered you covered them over in one instant. You drowned them all, and that's it. They're all finished. So it says that, but the enemy said, I will pursue them. Perishagam, Akum, also the non-Jews, they also want the Yanikasum, Vachizasum, all our enemies. We're talking about our enemies also want to receive from there. Because the same God that's creating us is creating our enemies. And the enemies, they also want to get more energy. It says that their horses and in other words, they realize that they are also creations and they also want to connect to their creator. Therefore, it says, Einav bagoyim tatspino, vasorim al yerumu lomo, Sela. It says that the enemies, his eyes are on God's eyes look at God's eyes look at the nations, and those of them that rebel, they should not elevate themselves. He will not elevate themselves forever. That our enemies, the non-Jews, the enemies among our non-Jews will never be elevated. But the water will cover them over. They will only descend from this level itself. Because Hashem, God is above all of the enemy. This is above the reason for their fall. Now, especially in the news, I mean, I always have to remind myself of this also. But here we have a story that all of the Egyptian army pursued the Jews, and the Jews were basically helpless. They were basically helpless. Even there were some of them that true that they did have weapons, it says, but they didn't know how to use them. Basically, they never fought anybody. They had no idea which side of the sword to use. In any case, they were outnumbered, and the Egyptians were trained warriors, and they were very motivated, and they wanted to revenge on the Jews, and they wanted to get the Jews back, and etc. But nevertheless, God fought for them. He covered them over. There's another similar story with Sennacherib. And Sennacherib, he laid siege to Jerusalem, and he had like this army of 100,000 men. You have to look over there and see. And King Chezkiah, who he was supposed to be the Moshiach, King Chezkiah, he was most of the prophecies in Isaiah that talk about, he's the chosen one, and he suffered for our sins and everything like that. It's talking about Chezkiah. It's talking about King Because anyway, so all of a sudden there came an angel and he killed this whole army, whole entire army of 100,000 men, whatever, and they all died. They all just did one died. That's it. Killed them all. So the same thing is going on. The fact of the matter is the God of Israel does exist. And we saw it a little bit in the 6-Day War. At least the whole world saw it, the 6-Day War. And the Israeli government, they covered over the enthusiasm of the whole world. They managed to somehow or other quench that fire. But the fact of the matter is that God does want to do these miracles, and he does do the miracles. I just hope he'll do it as soon as possible, because and the soldiers that I've spoken to that have come back from the Israeli soldiers, they say that the miracles are just incredible. They just the leadership and the planning almost doesn't exist over there. There's almost no plan, and the miracles and the victories there are just totally beyond any expectation of them. But the fact is, there still are a lot of people that are being injured, and the soldiers are losing their lives also. But if those soldiers wouldn't be there, is in one instant, they would do what the Hamas did. The Hamas says that they want to keep doing it, and they want to do it. They declare in front of the whole world, we want to kill all the Jews, and the Jews say, and then the whole world says, oh yeah, there's an idea. It says, but it doesn't make any difference. Those people who oppose us, as it says that God will not give them any elevation, that God will bring their fall. Of Bnei Israel, but the Jewish people, the Jewish people, they went on the dry land, but Tochayom, within the sea. Because of Mayim Lam Choma, the water was for them a wall from the right and the left. What does it mean? Like the rabbis say, all three things the world stands: Torah, Avodah, Gemilas Chasadim. Avodah means a service of prayer. That's the left side, like fire. Gemilas Chasadim, kindness. That's the right side. And that's what it means. Yaminu, small. The Jewish people rose up in God's thought. Therefore, we say, Asher Kirishanu b'mitzvotov, that God made us holy with his commandments, that by means of the commandments, the Jewish people elevate. That's what the walls stand on the right and the left. It's also the positive commandments, the negative commandments. The right is charity, the left is prayer. Jewish people elevate the Kodesh Elyon in the upper high holiness. Shemisham, that there is a source of their souls. Ruach, I see Ruach, V'emshich Ruach. And when a Jew does something good in this world, God reacts. And God, then after that, God acts even higher than just a reaction. Baruch Lochi, and therefore, Etzalam, by our enemies, Sus Baruch Baram V'yom. He threw all of them into the sea. But they walked in the, I'm sorry, I don't know. Therefore, by them, by the Jews, Sus Baruchbo, all of the spiritual worlds we said before. That's one explanation. The horses, that's the letters of the creation. Sus Baruchbo Ramba B'yom, all of the whole entire creation, God threw into the sea. In other words, God revealed all the secrets in the world. The whole Chobayabosha and the Jewish people were connected to the Creator himself. The dry land, everything was revealed, which is not the case of Sorim, which is not the case of the Egyptians, the ones that wanted to destroy the Jews. Al Yarumo, they will never be elevated again. They won't raise their head. So what did we learn? What have we learned over here? The sea is talking about all the spiritual worlds. The splitting of the sea was because God wanted to reveal the essence, the Creator. That God threw the horses and the riders, that's the letters of creation. He threw them into the sea, that the whole entire creation suddenly, two explanations, all the higher creations, all of the creations in the world revealed, right, the secrets of the Torah. So in these letters, the horses, etc., was revealed the secrets, the sea. But also another meaning is that for our enemies, those who pursued us, as God threw them into the sea, that they didn't have any elevation. They were drowned while the Jewish people walked connected to God, the Creator, on the dry land. Here in this story, there weren't any good non-Jews. Well, I guess there were. There was the Erev Rav came up with the Jews, but they made a lot of trouble. But in the future, it's not going to be that way. says the future redemption is that it says all the non-Jews, I mean, there's some of them that for sure are going to be destroyed, but who's going to be destroyed? The ones that can't stand life, the ones that love death. So God will give them what they want. Everybody will get what they want. Those who want good in the world, they'll get good. The people who want death in the world, who want to destroy the Jews and the Torah, and they want to destroy the land of Israel, and so they'll get what they want. They'll get destruction. But then the Rebbe also said the thing about the singing. Why did they sing? So the Rebbe said the singing itself arouses the soul. They didn't sing because of what happened, but the song itself made them appreciate what happened. Remember that we learned before? Okay, now let's do the Devar Malchut, and tomorrow we'll learn another mimer in Torah Or. Here we go.